I don't know when it started, or maybe I never noticed it until it became impossible to hide. Today at work, they asked for my opinion. A simple question. Everyone turned to me, waiting. And just like always, something inside me shut down. My mind was clear. The answer was right there. But my throat tightened, my tongue froze, and the room suddenly felt too loud and too bright. Someone laughed softly, thinking I was shy. I smiled, pretending they were right. But I wasn't shy. I was trapped. By what, I still don't know. Later, in the bathroom, I tried saying the words out loud, just to myself, just to hear my own voice. But nothing came out, only a shaky breath and a burning behind my eyes. It's strange. How can someone forget how to speak? How can a voice disappear while the world stays so loud? I tried again this morning. Before the sun came up, before anyone could hear me fail. I stood in front of the mirror, told myself it was just a sentence, just a sound, just my own voice. Nothing dangerous, nothing hard, nothing to fear. But when I opened my mouth, only silence came out. Not even a whisper. Just the shape of the word, trembling on my lips. I don't understand it. I'm not scared of people. I'm not scared of speaking. At least, that's what I keep telling myself. But my body reacts like it remembers something my mind doesn't. My heartbeat races. My hands shake. And all I hear inside my head is a dull, heavy pressure, as if a door is being held shut from the other side. Sometimes, in the middle of a conversation, I feel it coming. That closing sensation, like someone is turning down the volume of my voice before I even get the chance to use it. I wish I knew why. I wish I knew what this silence is trying to protect me from. Last night, something strange happened. I wasn't even thinking about my voice. I was washing a cup, letting the warm water run through my hands, when a sound echoed in my mind. A door closing. Not slamming, not loud, just final, like the end of something I can't remember. For a second, my chest tightened, my breath caught, and I felt this cold, sinking fear, as if I was standing in a hallway from a life I lived years ago. A hallway I didn't recognize, but my body did. I dropped the cup. It didn't shatter, just rolled across the counter. But the noise was enough. My voice disappeared instantly, like a small animal running into the dark. Why would a simple sound make me react like that? Why would a closed door feel like danger? I tried to follow the memory, to pull it back into focus, but all I saw was a blur, light, shadow, and a woman's voice saying something I couldn't quite hear. I'm starting to think my silence isn't random. Maybe it's tied to something I buried so deep that it only rises in pieces, like broken glass under shifting sand. This morning, while making tea, I heard something that didn't come from the room I was in. It came from somewhere inside me. A woman's voice. Soft, tired, almost whispering. But I couldn't understand a single word. It felt like hearing a sentence through a wall, muffled and distant, the kind of sound that makes you lean forward even though you're scared of what you might hear. I froze. The kettle kept boiling behind me, but all I could focus on was that voice. Low, urgent, shaping a word I couldn't catch. My throat closed instantly, that familiar tightness wrapping around my neck as if warning me not to listen. Why would my own mind warn me? What could be so dangerous about remembering? Later, I tried to recreate the moment. I stood in the same spot, held the same cup, waited for the same feeling. But all I heard was silence. Heavy, expectant silence, the kind that feels like someone is watching you from behind the closed door. I don't know whose voice it was, but something in me reacted like it knew, like it had known for years. And suddenly the question wasn't, why can't I speak? But, who taught me not to? I've been noticing something. Every time I try to speak and fail, the same sentence appears in my mind, not as words, but as a feeling. Don't start. Don't make it worse. It sounds like a rule, one I don't remember learning. Tonight I sat on my couch, lights off, trying to trace that feeling back to its origin. At first, nothing, just darkness. Then a flicker, a blurry image of a small table, 2 chairs, and the sound of whispering? Arguing? I can't tell. But I remember being small, my feet barely touching the floor, holding my breath so quietly the air hurt my lungs. And then, a sharp voice cutting through everything. Not loud, but sharp enough to freeze me even now. I couldn't hear the words clearly, just the tone. Tired, irritated, final. Like a door closing without ever slamming. My throat tightened again. That same choking pressure. That same instinct. Stay still, stay small, stay silent. It scares me how familiar it feels, how natural. As if silence isn't just a habit I picked up, but a rule someone carved into me long before I knew I'd need a voice. It happened again tonight. That same pressure in my chest, that same sense of being pulled backward into a memory I never meant to keep. I was reaching for a glass, and the cupboard door slipped from my fingers. A small sound, barely anything. But the moment it shut, a scene flashed behind my eyes so quickly I didn't even have time to breathe. A room, dim light, a chair pushed back too fast, a woman's sharp inhale. Not fear, not pain, something heavier. Exhaustion. I saw myself, tiny legs dangling from a seat, my hands gripping the edge of the table, waiting for something I didn't understand but felt responsible for. Then another sound, a soft but stern, enough. I don't know who said it. I couldn't see their face, but the tone sliced straight through me, and suddenly my throat closed with the same old familiar ache. I backed away from the cupboard door, leaning against the counter like it could hold me up. Why does a memory I can't fully see have the power to take my voice away? It feels like something in me was trained, reacting to commands I no longer remember hearing, in a house I can barely picture, during moments my mind erased. But my body never did. Today it happened in front of someone. Not a coworker, not a stranger. Someone who actually looked at me, noticed the way my breath hitched mid-sentence, noticed how my lips parted but no sound followed. "Are you okay?" they asked. And I nodded, the universal lie for people who don't know how to speak their truth. But after they walked away, I stayed frozen in place, hands trembling like I had just escaped something dangerous. Except there was no danger, just a conversation I couldn't enter. I went home and sat on the edge of my bed, trying to find one memory that could explain all of this. Just one. But all I got were fragments. The chair scraping, the door closing, that tired voice whispering, "Enough." And the sinking feeling that I was supposed to disappear. I used to think this was just shyness. Then I thought it was anxiety. Now I'm not so sure. The fear feels older than either of those, like it started long before I learned anything about myself. Tonight, for the first time, I typed "psychologist near me" into my phone. My finger hovered over the call button for a long time. I didn't press it, Yet. But maybe that's the closest I've ever come to choosing my own voice over the silence someone once demanded from me. I finally made the call. My voice didn't come out on the first try, just a shaky breath. But somehow, the second attempt worked. The psychologist's voice was calm, warm, like someone speaking from the other side of a long winter. In the session, I didn't talk much. I didn't know how. But I described the tightness in my throat, the vanished words, the memories that came in broken pieces, the chair, the door, the sharp enough. She listened, really listened. Then she asked, "When you were a child, what happened when adults argued?" Something cracked inside me. Not painfully, more like a door finally opening after years of rust. And suddenly the memory came back. Not in pieces this time, but whole. Me, sitting at a small table, legs dangling, while voices rose behind a closed door. A hand grabbing my arm too tightly. A whisper in my ear. "Don't start. Don't make it worse. Stay quiet." Not once. Not twice. Every time. Every argument. Every moment tension filled the house. My voice was the first thing taken away. The psychologist nodded gently. "That wasn't shyness," she said. "That wasn't fear of speaking. That was survival. You were taught that your silence kept the peace." I felt something warm roll down my face. A tear. The first one I didn't swallow back. I wasn't born quiet. I was trained to disappear. And maybe now, for the first time, I'm learning how to come back.